that China has been promoting the Belt and Road Initiative all around the world. Now, how does this railway project help China to achieve its new Silk Road goals?
Yeah. Actually, the Belt and Road Initiative, yeah, for Indonesia, Indonesia member of the Belt and Road Initiative, yeah, and of course China think that Indonesia plays a vital role in China in building bilateral, regional, and global cooperation. So the cooperation between China is realized through a synergy agreement between the Belt and Road Initiative and global maritime axis concept. Yeah. This concept is a strategic vision of President Joko Widodo. It aims to build connectivity between Indonesia and the world to streamline cooperations between countries. Back to your questions, yeah, how I mentioned from the time of international relations, yeah, how the projects Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway in relations with the Belt and Road Initiative, yeah, and the profitable, yeah, for Indonesia, or positive effect for Indonesia. Of course, I think this is Joko Widodo's success in diplomacy with China, because of President Joko Widodo has also made various breakthroughs in the investment sector while simultaneously answering the doubts of other countries that they want to in Indonesia. It's called trimming and licensing bureaucracy and saying multiple regulations that are considered to make investment to Indonesia difficult. In part of international relations, yeah, the President Indonesia think about the national interest and how Indonesia diplomacy benefit the national interest. For example, the calculation of choosing China as the winner of a Jakarta-Bandung high-speed train tender is a very rational choice, yeah, because China has the technology and financial capabilities that do not require government guarantees through the state budget, so that a cooperation can be out on a business-to-business basis. Yeah. And moreover, China's election as the winner of the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail tender has opened up more opportunities for China in the term of our Belt and Road Initiative to continue to invest in infrastructure development in Indonesia. And the point achieved in the political economy from Indonesia's economic diplomacy toward China are that with Indonesia's success in cooperation with the construction of Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail. And again, in the time of Belt and Road Initiative, the Chinese government increasingly believes in the ease of investment in Indonesia. So therefore, in the long term, other countries who are in the Belt and Road Initiative and who wish to invest in Indonesia see the significant opportunities to invest with China as its guarantee. Yeah? Thank you, Kay and Power.
Well, certainly really interesting. I mean, you've mentioned a lot of, pilot projects that this could open way for future projects in Southeast Asia as well. This, deems to be successful. And here's one very important thing. The G20 is happening, and the launch of the KCJB will take place on the second day of the G20 summit, which is tomorrow. And what do you think, Bahari, does Indonesia and China want to show the world in this moment that is going to be happening tomorrow?
Indonesia and China, of course, want to show and want to prove to the world. During the 72 years of establishing diplomatic relations, the two countries have achieved many achievements. Some of them are the political commitment of Indonesia and China leaders to develop equal relations in a comprehensive and mutually respectful partnership. Trade value continuing to increase and investment activities are continuing to grow. In addition, people-to-people interaction are getting closer. China and Indonesia also contribute to regional and multilateral cooperation to maintain world security, peace, and prosperity. So the magnitude of the performance of economic cooperation between the two countries also show a positive signal. So this indicates that the relationship between Indonesia and China is not just a flashback or historical nostalgia, but also manifests in the form of a cooperation framework and partners that are mutually beneficial and beneficial to the people of countries.
Right.
This kind of the total trade balance over the last 3 quarters, the value of Indonesia export still rose of 5.2%. So this achievement reduced Indonesian trade deficit again by 66.80% compared to the same period in the previous. So these relations can be of as a real achievement for Indonesia exporter during the pandemic. Meanwhile, in the same period, Indonesia also managed to lure Chinese investors into investing around 6% higher than in the 3 previous year. So this achievement, China is the second largest investor country in Indonesia with a total investment more than 3.5 billion US dollar. So I think China and Indonesia also show that the difficulties and challenges caused by the pandemic have not affected Chinese investor interest in doing business in Indonesia. Catching this positive, Indonesia also sees opportunities for investment cooperation with China, especially in digital economy. With Indonesia digital economy reaching around 40 billion US dollar in 2019 and is predicted to lead in South Asia with a value of 133 billion in 2020. The opportunities for partnership cooperation between Indonesia and China are wide open, including the development of human professional in digital infrastructure. I think the two countries want to show to the countries in the world, especially to the G20 member, that the relations China and Indonesia grow year by year.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, speaking of the G20, now we're continuing to see arrivals. Earlier, we saw the new Prime Minister of the UK, Rishi Sunak, made his arrival, and not long after was followed by the arrival of the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, as well as the recent arrival of Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the President of Turkey as well.
And also arrived as guest of honor, Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong, and many more are arriving.
Prime Minister of Australia,
yes,
Anthony
Albanese.
No stranger to Bali.
No stranger to Bali, yes.
Yes, so Pahari, real quick, let's talk a little bit about the future, whether it's short-term or long-term. How do you see the future of relationships between China and Indonesia from here on going forward?
Yeah, I think it's clear. Yeah, the future relationship. Yeah, as I mentioned, during this year, the two countries have achieved many achievements. Yeah, the political commitment from the two countries, and more important, that Indonesia as a member and initiative have some view, has the same view with China, especially in the maritime axis concept. So this concept, is related with the strategy from a Chinese government, and then President Joko Widodo, connectivity between Indonesia and China and the world to streamline cooperation between the countries. So Indonesia as the maritime country, Indonesia can take advantage of the potential of the sea to become a global civilization hub. So the synergy of the two connectivity between BRI and maritime axis concept manifested in a memorandum of understanding between China and Indonesia in 2018. So China and Indonesia in the future they agree to build for economic corridor in Indonesia. It's called North Sumatra as an economic and business hub for ASEAN, North Kalimantan as an energy and mineral center, and Bali as a tech and creative economic hub, and North Sulawesi as a Pacific Rim economic hub. So this synergy has also shown tangible results through developing various strategic infrastructure. So I think partnership again, connect to the what we call new connection with the ASEAN and China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand, which are the member of our regional comprehensive economic partnership. I think that's Paul.
Thank you.